Who's writing? Hello, everybody. I almost got recorded being sassy. Hey, everybody. Welcome to New Earth Rising. We're so happy that you're here. We are doing a really cool show today. We're doing the top 10 lies that we are told, but I think we have more than 10.
Top 10 plus.
Top 10 plus, 10 plus. Yeah. And we are going to talk about some of these things and these things that we're being told that just aren't true. And, you know, we may slide into conspiracy theories a little bit, and we might like not have all the facts for you, but you want to know what? We're both educated people that have been looking into all this stuff. We've both done a little bit of geeking out and getting some facts together, and we want to talk about it. And so we're bringing it to you, and we just want to bring it up because we believe that everybody should have a voice, that we should be able to talk about these things. What do you guys think? What do you think about what we're talking? We want to hear from you. What do you think about what we're saying? But before we get to what we're saying, I am Michele Amburgey. I am the Awakener. I am one of many. I'm pretty sure most of you are too. We are here to awaken ourselves to a new paradigm. And we are here. Sharon and I are here. And it's so exciting. And I just want to keep talking, but Sharon, I have to let you talk sometimes. So
okay.
You have 1 minute.
Okay. 1 minute. All right. Hello, everyone. Yes, I can't wait for this. We're here to share information that we know or have found to be untrue over the many lifetimes. I was going to say years, but many lifetimes. And, you know, and a lot of you may already know this, but maybe we're here to confirm it for you. Who knows? Yeah. And this is exciting because we are waking up, like Michele was saying. We're awake, and we're waking up more and more every day, from the deep sleep to the, to the next level of sleep, to the next level of awakening, as we move up in frequency and seeing things from a much higher and wider perspective. And I was listening to Alan, I just learned about him. A client told me about him, and I was listening to one of his lectures. Alan Bates, is it? He's a mystic.
I've not heard
Alan
of him.
Watts. I'm sorry, Alan Watts.
Oh, okay. I have heard of him.
Yeah, and I'd heard of him, but I had not heard any of his lectures. But it was really interesting, and he talks about having the focus view, the focus light view, and then the wider light view, the spotlight view, and then the floodlight view.
Yeah.
And as we wake up, we have the floodlight view, where we can see things from a much wider perspective and see a lot of what's happened, what we've been dealing with for a very long time, what we're dealing with now.
Yeah, it becomes so apparent that it's like, that's just not right. Do we have the facts? Do we have all the information? No, but you feel it. Your soul feels. Right. It's like, that's not right. Yeah, it's not right. And that's something we're as you wake up, you start coming from too. You start operating from the soul level. That's part of what that is that navigation within.
Sure.
Oh man.
So do we want to get started?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Top 10 plus lies we've been being told.
Right.
So Sharon, you have the longer list, so you get to start first.
Okay. So maybe we could do a stair step, something like that, where I'll share one, then you share one. And because we went over our list beforehand, and we did have some that were the same. So there's probably only 10 that are different, if even less. Number one I listed was that we're being told that we actually die. We don't die. We do not die. We change form. There is no end to life. We are eternal, and we live. Yeah. It's hard to fathom eternity in these. Well, we're not 3D anymore, unless we're, in fear, but in these 4D, 5D awarenesses. But we don't die. Yeah. No. And
the
physical body does cease to
Right.
Right. But we as a soul do not die. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm
who we
sorry.
are.
Mhm.
And a lot of religions are based on that whole death thing. You know,
Right.
it's like you got one life to live, don't mess it up. Don't
Yeah.
sin, don't make mistakes, don't be bad. It's all you got, and then you're going to hell. You
Right.
know, and it's like a lot of fear, a lot of kind of mental slavery, if you will,
Mhm.
has been
Mental and
based
emotional.
on that you're gonna die.
Right.
You have
Mental and
one life to live.
emotional. And I believe that the latest, all the um pandemics that come around are based on
Mm,
fear of death. That's how they get us.
totally.
Yeah.
And that's going to lead into the next one that I had that I wanted to talk about is that big pharma or pharmaceutical or even the medical is even about health,
Yeah.
right? It's not about health, but it's about keeping us darn scared of dying. Oh my God, cancer. Oh my God, disease. Oh my God, this. Oh my God, that. You got to get tests. You got to constantly be on the lookout. You got to, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I find it really disturbing to my energy fields when I get those calls from the doctor that I haven't been to in 11 years. It's like, oh, you got to get these tests. Oh, you haven't had a mammogram. Oh my God, you probably have cancer. It's like, no, I don't. And
Right.
if I do, okay,
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah.
And it's just some crazy stuff where it's that whole fear thing. And there's some radio, and then it moved to like commercials where it would just start out as you have cancer. I'm like, oh my gosh, talk about programming the masses, just that boom, 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 that frequency coming at you. And I remember one time I was driving really fast in my car, listening to music, and I had just turned the music down and it went to the next station. And that was what came out. And I went, no, I do not.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about language as we were going over our list too. And
Yeah.
we'll get to that in one of the bullet points here. But going back to that and playing on the fear of death, and it's all about consumerism, right? We're
Right.
consumers to these
Yeah.
to these entities. And Michele, you're a spirit communicator, that when we communicate with spirit, with loved ones, for people on the other side, what is for me, and I'm sure I would imagine you would get this too, the biggest message I get from spirit on the other side is, I'm still alive.
I'm
I
still
still
here.
have a full life. Live your life to its fullest, right?
Yep.
Have fun.
Yep.
Live your life to the fullest. We still live. I still live. I haven't gone anywhere. I just don't have the physical body. I've had 2 near-death experiences. I know we don't die. I go out of body all the time. And I know, Michele, you travel too. So remember, don't fear anything that has to do with, I don't mean don't have concern, don't just step off a cliff, but we have the ego to help us with that. But don't let it get in the way of living our lives. Number one, living our lives to their fullest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because we live in so much fear. And I just look at how, the kids even are just scared of everything and, oh my God. And, and this whole pandemic just laid an extra layer on top of it too.
Right.
And that was a lot of what that was too with the big pharmas that made everybody scared to death that we were all going to die this horrible death of not being able to breathe. Remember that I can't breathe. Everything was I can't breathe. That had nothing to do with the illness. It was another thing that was going on, but it was still that message in there. It was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It comes through so crazy.
So the fear frequency is the most debilitating frequency we have. I mean, it's the opposite of love. Fear, it's not hate, it's fear. Fear keeps us frozen. And where hate, at least there's some movement.
But there's some energy behind hate.
So love and fear are the complete opposite of each other. Okay, so chakra system, and Michele, you brought this to my attention again. And it resonated so deep within me, is that we have been taught that we have 7 chakras. And for the aware people out there, you'd probably know that we have many more chakras than 7. Yeah, we have minors and then the majors, but we also have other major chakras, the 12 plus chakra system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So working with those when we're doing our chakra work, we can work with the earth below the root chakra. And so what I understand is, okay, so earth, root, I believe it's the hara between the sacral and the solar plexus, plexus and the hara. Sacral, hara, solar plexus, the heart, the high heart, the so that's the thymus, right? The high heart, the thymus, the throat. And I always called this one the sinus, but I guess there's a name for it. This one right here that regulates the ears, the sinuses, that chakra right there.
And it's related to this clairgustient chakra.
Okay.
People that can smell or taste.
Yeah.
Spiritually.
Okay, the brow, brow chakra, the crown. Then we have the soul chakra.
Yeah.
And the star chakra.
Right.
And the solar, is there a solar that's different?
I teach it a little bit different. Yeah. Because I teach that there's a Christ chakra, an I am chakra, monadic chakra, causal chakra, star chakra, and the great central sun.
Okay. So we're connecting to our monadic groups, the Christed part of ourselves up like that. Okay.
Yeah. And all the way back into creation.
To creation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I've heard called the galactic chakra as well, which is, yeah. So it depends on if you feel into it in your meditations and feel into those energy centers, right? Those portals, that is what will help us with our ascension, because with Michele, what she shared was that we have been duped into believing and working with only the 7 chakras that keep us tied to the earth plane and the lower astral planes, so that we keep coming back.
Yeah.
And our awareness is only in those chakras, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And we keep our physical form, our physicality, and our spirit tied into the physicality.
Right. Right.
And so the ascension is like what Jesus did: create that light body, become the light, and you take the body with you. Or you can get a new one, whatever you want.
Yeah.
I might be looking for a newer, younger model. I'm not sure yet.
I know I am.
Oh yeah, it's so cool. So next one, are we ready for the next one?
Yes.
I geeked out on this one a little bit. This whole climate change thing, people. I went Virgo on this thing and I did a little bit of study, not a lot. I spent maybe a couple hours or something. And then I finally figured out how I was going to do it. So here's what I did is I looked at the average temperature on September 13th, which is right around Sharon and my birthday. And just before both of our birthday week, we're going to call it our birthday week. So September 13th. And I started for my area, which is Orange County, California. So 1970, the average temperature was 74. 1980, 67. 1990, 69. 2000, 75. 2010, 69. 2019, 76. And 2020, 69. It was hotter average in 1970 than it was in 2020 here in Orange County. So I thought, New York, let's look at New York, right? A little bit different, other side of the country. New York had records all the way back to 1949, which I thought was cool. So I was like getting all of 1949. What was it like there then? So 1949, average temperature 71. 1950, average temperature 86. So that was like a big jump. Oh my God, global warming. Ah! But by the time we got to 1960, it was 77. 1970, 78. There's some global warming. 1980 was 78. 1990 was 81. It's heating up. Oh, but 2000, it was only 76. 2010 was 76. And 2020 in New York City, the average temperature on September 13th was 77 degrees. There's no freaking global warming going on.
Yeah.
Right? We're looking at decades here. What are we looking at? 40 years, 50 years?
Yeah. It's,
80 years?
Thank you for that, Michelle. That says a lot. That says a lot, definitely. I just, and I've had this intuition for a while now, that, and I bought into the global warming and climate change thing definitely for a while.
Yeah.
Whenever we'd get a heat wave or a cold snap, well, there's global warming, okay, that kind of thing.
Right.
And we're not saying the earth may not be changing.
And it is changing, because that's what it does.
Yes.
Nature changes.
Yeah. And we talked about this, I think, in our last show. Could it be perhaps that the planet is moving into a higher frequency, maybe heats up a little bit, or just changes? And the research you did is showing that the planet may not be heating up that much
at all. Not from what I have. Now, this is just a really simple study.
Right.
And it's something anybody can do. But I mean, just looking at the numbers, it's like, and another thing that's really interesting, and I think we were talking about this too, Sharon, is it's almost like the global warming that may be happening, doesn't appear to be, but maybe it is just the earth going back to its natural state. Are ice caps, the North Pole and the South Pole, have they always been frozen? Because research says no. They have found huge caverns underneath South Pole, Antarctica, I think it is, with trees and forests and lushness, and all kinds of stuff going on. And it's like, it used to be a forest. It used to be like a rainforest there.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, wait a minute, this global warming that we're freaking out about, maybe this is just still recovering from the last ice age that we had.
From the nuclear winter that I was getting.
Yeah.
I bet we're recovering from a nuclear winter. I would bet my, I don't know, something on it.
And Mother Earth knows how to balance herself too. If we would just leave her alone, quit cutting down all the trees.
Yeah.
But, we do have to be conscious, because the pollution is a problem. Like all the plastics in the sea is not helping anything.
Yeah. Totally.
When we were talking about this, we're not saying that we can stop being irresponsible or responsible, whichever one that works in there.
Stop being, total something.
Yeah, we have to still do this. We've got to get rid of plastics. Plastics are just destroying everything. Yeah. What is the alternative? There's gotta be lots of alternatives, but it's I don't know.
I think it comes down to taking care of the planet, taking care of the beings on the planet, and
including
rather than
us.
Totally, humanity, the beings on the planet, because I've seen that this, and hopefully we don't get kicked off for talking like this, but who knows? Who cares?
We'll see. It'll be our first time. We'll wear it like a badge of honor.
I know, right? Strike one. I just see this whole global warming thing, or this climate change thing, as a marketing ploy. And we're going to talk about that with the next one I have on the list, on something else, a marketing ploy. And for these beings to feed off of humanity even more, to feed off. Yeah.
Constantly striving, constantly exhausted, constantly in fear, constantly not being in our divine, peaceful alignment,
right,
that we're supposed to be here doing.
Yeah. And selling, and selling all these gadgets and, cars or whatever, anything to get us to be in fear, thinking that the world's going to end in 20 years or 10 years. Wasn't it supposed to end 20 years ago already?
I think what was his name? That tall guy was saying that New York and that the coast, New York and California would be flooded by
Okay.
2013, I think was
Okay. Yeah, that's
the
20
story
years.
then.
No, 13 is 10 years. But yeah, I mean, we've had so many alarmists saying that Al Gore and his ilk.
Al Gore, that's the guy I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The tall guy.
Yeah, so it's my spidey sense tells me, and everyone out there, you're smart, do your own, use your own intuition, do your own research, and you don't have to agree with anything we say.
No, we're not
This is
experts.
just how we see it. Yeah, this is how we
We're
see
just intuits.
Right.
We're just intuitives that have a little ding, 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 and we want to talk about it. Gosh darn it.
And we trust our intuition. Yeah. So, trust your intuition. But yeah,
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Totally.
Cool. Ooh, I got another one.
Okay. All right. So my next one on the list, are we finished with climate change and that that bunk? Okay. The food pyramid. I mean, who goes by that anymore anyway? But we've been told since the 70s, I believe, or 80s, because the old food pyramid, because I did some research on this, the food pyramid that was written in the 50s was an actual healthy pyramid, but when she submitted it, she was a scientist, a nutritionist scientist, and she submitted it to the government, the agricultural department. They totally changed it.
Oh.
Yeah, another marketing ploy. So they want us to eat 6 to 8 servings of breads, cereals, and potatoes every day. No wonder we are a very unhealthy country. Yeah. And only 5 servings of fruits. I mean, it's too much. We eat too much as it is.
Yeah.
So 5 servings of fruits and vegetables, which is, that's less than how many breads and cereals and potatoes they want us to eat.
And that's a lot of food, just that one grain level.
I mean, who eats that, and who eats 5 servings of fruits and vegetables? I don't know. And then 3 of milk, cheese, and yogurt. So 3 servings a day. Only 2 of protein, meat, fish, and that type of protein alternative. Only 2 servings. Only. That should be down at the big part.
Yeah.
Protein is our building blocks of our body.
Yep.
This other crap keeps you, sick. Foods, drinks, and snacks that are high in fat and sugar are at the very tip top, which says, which is good, but high in fat. We talked about that. I mean, they're fat. There's lots and lots of good fat. The oils, the olive oils,
coconut oil,
butter, avocados, those types of things. Yeah.
Nuts.
And nuts, if your body can handle it. So they pretty much wrote those out of the equation.
And sugar and candy and all that stuff isn't even food. It shouldn't even be on a food pyramid.
No, it's not.
Not even food.
No, it's garbage. Archangel Michael, was it Archangel Michael? I think it was Archangel Michael that told me that once. And when I was, my mom had passed, and my sister and I were cleaning out her space, her apartment. And I went in the freezer and got some kind of frozen dish. You know how the older generation would eat whatever, and I was starving. So I put it in the microwave and went to eat it. And I heard, "You're eating garbage."
Oh,
just as loud as could be.
It is. It's just when you flip it over.
Yeah.
And you look at the what the heck is all this stuff in our food? It's everything.
Yes.
It's everything, unless it comes out of the ground, off a tree or a bush. We were talking about this earlier, or off the hoof, or out of the sea, swimming around.
Right.
Don't put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
And even the grains and all that kind of stuff, we can't eat that anymore. They've genetically modified it, and they've sprayed it so much, that even organic I've heard tell that organic isn't even organic because everything blows all over the place and the farmlands and stuff.
Oh, and plus we're being sprayed with all kinds of chemicals in the air.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, it's called geoengineering now, not chemtrails.
it's
Yeah.
not chemtrails,
Look
people.
up, yeah, look up geoengineering if you're interested in what's going on in the skies. Yeah,
I
'cause
knew
they admit
someone
to it.
who actually was involved in that, and when he realized what they were doing, he quit his job.
Wow.
He was actually designing the airplanes or redesign. They were taking old airplanes, redesigning them to do the spraying. And
Yeah.
he realized what they were doing, and he was like, oh, no.
Yeah. So yeah, the food pyramid is garbage. Don't go
Bunk.
by it. Yeah. I mean, it's meant to keep us fat and sick. Bottom line.
Yep. And
Yeah.
why is that?
Why is that? So we can become consumers for big pharma, for all these companies that are in bed with government agencies too.
Mhm.
Yes, I said it.
Take that, YouTube. But we don't know what we're talking about. We're just putting ideas out there. You tell
No.
us what you think.
This is just a,
We're having a conversation.
having a conversation. Yeah.
We'll
one
do
of
it
those
like
deals.
Russell Brand does. He talks about all kinds of stuff, but he does not say it like it's a fact. He says it like we're just talking about it. You let us know what you think.
That's right. Could it be? Could it be?
Oh my gosh. Yep. The food pyramid.
Yeah.
So here's another one the one that just popped in my head that I want to talk about. There used to be giants on this planet. And that's another thing that it's like, oh, no. Any of that that's fake. That's false. There is so much evidence of giants. First and foremost, giant skulls, giant skeletons that have been hidden away in the Smithsonian, I hear.
Mhm.
These buildings that are created, Petra being one of them, that is huge. It's enormous. The Bible talks about all kinds of giants, David and Goliath, right?
You're right.
All kinds of stuff about the giants and getting rid of the giants. Also, totally fascinating. They are finding that there are these huge natural formations that they started doing, like DNA testing, all kinds of testing. It's not rock, it's wood. It's fossilized wood, huge, like a mile across. They're starting to say we used to have these massive trees
Yeah. Wow.
on this planet. It's like, what the heck? What
have you ever seen rock stones or trees too that look like a giant or people, or they are fossilized?
Yeah.
And that could be the nuclear war, one of the nuclear wars, where because it looks like they're doing something.
Yeah, where they fell.
They fell there, and they were
yeah.
What's the word that for when a nuclear heat, that really intense heat, it liquefies you and turns you into
yeah, it's like instantly fossilizes you, doesn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a word for it, but I can't remember. And that might be the story that have something to do with the story of Lot and his wife.
And his wife. Don't turn around, you turn into salt.
Yeah.
And what's interesting, there is a kids and it's not a cartoon, it's a movie, a Disney movie, I think. So good, called Moana.
Oh, I've heard
and they
of
talk
it,
about the spirit of Tahiti maybe, and how she lays down and becomes the island. And there is actually, I'm getting total chills. There's actually an island that is shaped exactly like a woman laying on her side. There are mountain ranges that look like people laying on their side. There are huge rocks, huge mountains that look exactly like a face.
Yes. I started watching this one movie based on the story of and this is in Thailand, the boys, it's called 13 Lives. The boys that were trapped in a cave. Remember that, 2018?
Yes.
Oh, it's amazing. It's on Amazon Prime. Really good, but it's 2.5 hours long, so I can only watch part of it last night. But there's the mountain that the cave of the mountain they were trapped in is dedicated to a princess because they call her the sleeping princess. And when you look at the mountain, you can see her, just like you said, the image of a woman, but it looks like she's kind of laying on her side, but also on her back. And it's, to me, it's just as clear as day, because they showed a picture, you know, the landscape of the mountain, and it looks like a woman laying there looking up like that.
You know, there's so many stories, there's so many fairy tales, there's so much lore, and there's so much evidence. You know, and there's these huge buildings, and I didn't do the research on this. I watch a lot about the Tartaria stuff and all that, and it includes the giants. But there's these huge buildings that are built where the steps are gigantic, right? The steps leading up to the gigantic doorway. You know, no, it's some of them are 12 feet, you know, tall. A human needs a ladder to get up those. Fascinating, fascinating.
It is fascinating, definitely. Wow. Okay, that's a good one. Yes. All right, the one I have next. Oh, we didn't talk about the tree of life also with the chakra system, and how the tree of life, I understand, has also been changed by
Yes.
the controllers, is what they call it in one video I watched, one documentary. And what, I forget the difference, but there's a difference.
Yeah, there, from what I understand, and I learned this from the Keylontic science from
Okay.
Aishana, I can never remember her first name, Dean, Ashana Dean. And they talk about that the tree of life actually depicts the workings of the universe, that like each of the nodes that they have on there, like stargates throughout the universe.
Okay.
And at one point they were trying to close down a stargate partially to trap us here in the third dimension. And so it is now a 13 points on there, but it was originally 15. And so one of the stargates was shut down, and one of them, it pulled it into that stargate. It's also believed to be the fall of Metatron. And there are people that say that the Metatronic cube has been distorted because when all of this happened, Metatron was part of the one that was trying to save this whole big galactic thing that was going on, and he got sucked into that false reality. And part of his geometry did too. And that he's actually on the returning back to, and he's here with us now.
Okay.
Right.
Wow. That's amazing. Wow. Yeah, I was getting, and as we were talking, I was searching my file banks, my brain banks. Was it 12 strands? 12 strands, the tree of life could represent our strands of DNA. And that we, the tree of life that has been in our consciousness is, you know, makes sense.
Yeah.
That it would be manipulated just like our DNA was manipulated to keep us in these lower realms. Yeah. But we know better now.
Yeah. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
And it's all part of each other. You know, the number 12 is really, really powerful. But apparently so is the number 15, because some more work that I'm doing, number 15 is coming up.
Yeah.
Like we've got 13th, 14th, and 15th dimensions that we actually are beginning to tap into, which are the what they call it, the realms of creation. It's the blue ray. We hear about the blue ray star seeds and stuff like that, tapping into that 13th dimension, the 14th dimension of the golden Christ ray, the 15th dimension of the violet ray, and it's the violet flame. Right. And so it's that creative energy that is creating the God energy, if you will.
Right. Yeah. Which we are. That's what we are. And just bringing that back. So you covered pharmaceuticals. All right. So the next one I have on the list is that God, source, higher power is outside of ourselves, and that we have to be reaching, the lie is that we have to be reaching outside of ourselves for our enlightenment.
Yeah.
That type of thing. When we hold whatever we need within us. Yeah. I mean, it's fine to have to reach out for a helping hand, for sure, whenever we,
Sure.
yeah. And
Sure.
that's what we do. That's why we have each other around.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And also the way it was explained to me by Archangel Michael one time,
Mhm.
I had this huge experience where, I call upon angels and archangels and masters and excuse me, called them all in. And I know I've talked about it on our show before. And I said, what is oneness? What is it? And they're all around me and they all turn, they have my face. And then they
Nice.
all came within.
Yeah.
And so now when I do my prayers and I call upon them, I'm still visualizing them out, and I feel them coming in. I feel the energy coming in, but I also feeling it coming up from within.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's there, it's here. This is the projection, right? This
Mhm.
is where we like seeing it outside and
Mhm.
then coming up from within, and it becomes the one.
Mhm.
It becomes that wholeness.
Right.
And we're all a part of that.
We are
We are
one. We're
all
all
that.
connected. We all have our projections, but we even
Mhm.
our projection, everything's connected. It's I love it. And it's this beautiful tapestry of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is nothing outside of ourselves that can save us or that will give us all the answers that we need.
We're the
Yeah.
creators.
And God is not outside of ourselves. God, not outside of us. We are that spark, God's spark, that expression of
Well,
source.
and that's where Aya, Asher, Aya is. I am that. Right? I am.
Yeah,
I am that.
I am.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And I was in my car today and thinking about, listening to Alan Watts. Is that what his name is? Alan
Yeah,
Watts.
Alan Watts.
Yeah. And I got that I am, because he was talking about I am, and how when you say that, when you repeat that, you just, at least I was feeling this clarity again on connection with I am all that is.
Yeah.
And that's what source is. I am all that is.
Yeah.
So it's not I, meaning this I am all that is.
Yeah.
And it brings that floodlight view into perspective too.
Right.
Like he was talking about, I am everything.
Yeah. And that's what Jesus taught us.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said God is within.
Right.
It's all there.
Right.
And it takes us having to meditate, people. Nobody wants to meditate.
reflection and devotion.
Mindfulness,
reflection, devotion, mindfulness.
I am just my students and clients, they're all know it's like prayer, meditation, prayer, meditation, prayer, meditation.
It should be part of our daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
Reflection.
Yeah.
Going within, because we spend our whole day without in our projections. Yeah. So why not take some time? 20 minutes isn't too much to ask. I mean, we do it in our sleep anyway, but we don't remember, most people don't remember their dreams now.
And we're not doing it consciously.
We're not. Yeah. Normally.
Conscious reflection.
Yeah. I look forward to my nighttime travels. But so why not spend some time on our inner world? Yeah. The one that's really cool.
And it's really fun.
It's really fun, and it's immense. It's infinite.
It's infinite. And if you just open up your imagination, that's the tool. Everybody is so afraid of their imagination. That is the tool. That is the portal. Open it up.
Yeah.
Let it fly.
Yeah. People have asked me, well, it is because I teach classes on out-of-body experiences, astral travel, that kind of thing, and lucid dreaming. Well, isn't can you be attacked when you're astral traveling, that type of thing? And what comes to me is, and what I understand, and what from my experience is, what you're doing is going within you.
Yeah.
You are going within your world. You're not in an outside world. I mean, there is objective out of body experiences because you're in the matrix, the
Right.
astral, the objective that is a collective agreement kind of thing. But it's still, you're going within. You're going within. And why be afraid of what's going on within you?
Yeah.
And it just confirms the knowledge that if we're being what we think is attacked in our dreams and in our out of body experiences, that kind of thing, it's stuff that we have that
Right.
needs to be worked on.
Yeah. It's that fear.
It's
that
it
fear. And we're just so plied with constant fear all the time.
That should have been one on the list, that out of body experiences are dangerous.
Yeah.
That's another lie.
When you and I first met and you were talking about this stuff, I'm like, like, no,
sister. Yeah.
And I learned to do it. I did your class and I learned how to do it. And it's an inner journey.
Mm-hmm.
It's an inner journey.
Yeah, we shouldn't be, and we're taught to be afraid of what's within us, even though we don't even know what we're afraid of.
Well, we're sinners to start with.
Oh yeah, we start out in sin. Yeah, according to another lie. Yeah, and I don't think we covered that one yet, but yeah. So adding another one to the list, astral travel, out of body experiences, that type of thing is not dangerous. No.
It's another way to get to know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what the whole thing is about.
Right. Okay. Your turn, my
dear. What else do we got here? Let's see. Oh boy. Okay. We're good. This one might get us kicked off. Taxes.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of falsehood around that too. And we've got all kinds of stuff going on right now. Coming at us.
Yeah.
And it's like we need to pay attention, and we need to get smart, because it's not a law. There are no laws. It's kind of like the pandemic. There's no law you had to take that shot. Right? There's no law. There's a mandate. And they scared the crap out of everybody with the mandates. It made your life miserable. There's no law. And it's like, what are we going to do? So that's all I'm saying about that. You tell me what you think. I know nothing. Tell us what you think.
Might want to follow David Straight.
Yes.
Straight. He breaks it down really well.
Yeah.
About this illegal institution.
Yeah.
And how we can disconnect or break up with.
Yeah. And there are things you can do.
Yeah, and that our birth certificates are,
part of it,
what they're all about, and that we are proclaimed as dead at sea beings as soon as we're born. Isn't
that crazy? We're sinful and we're dead at sea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No wonder we're all messed up.
Yeah, right? That's and when people, when guides and all this information is coming through that we've been slaves to the system for so long, it's like, now we got to remove the blinders, take our head out of the sand, and wake the F up, because it's not happening anymore.
Yeah, start getting into action. And it's interesting with that whole thing with the birth certificates is one of the things that you can, that is around it, is your name is all in capitals. So whenever you go, especially now that we have computers and everything, you can go to your insurance company and go to your bank and go to different things. A lot of times you put your information in, it all comes up as capital letters. Change it. Because as soon as you sign anything with all those capital letters, you're like signing an agreement to this situation. So I always change everything.
Yeah, it's all connected. It's all connected, and it enforces, what I understand, it enforces that that agreement that our parents made, which they didn't know
Right.
when they gave us a birth certificate.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a fairly new thing. I mean, I know when I had my kids were born in the 80s. They didn't get birth certificates automatically.
Mm-hmm.
They were like 5 or 6, and all of a sudden it's like, you got to get birth certificates. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. And a social security card and all that.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it's a system that we need to realize is broken, and you know,
Yeah.
and that's the next thing on my list is that the government cares about us and has our best interest at heart.
Michael
That is
Jackson had a
laughable.
great song. All I
Yes,
want to say is they don't
they don't
really
really
care
care
about
about
us.
us.
Right? God bless you, Michael. I love you.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's like, luckily I was born not trusting the government. I came out of my mother's womb. Well, I'm a walk-in, so, but yeah,
Being anti.
yeah, anti-establishment, anti-government, all that. I didn't trust. Yeah, I haven't trusted any of them.
You know, I've always felt very uncomfortable. And this is, now I understand why, but I used to, and I worked in a bank for like 2 years. Banks freak me out. I get nervous, I get anxiety, I can't breathe. And I'm like, I'm in here getting my money. Why am I feeling such anxiety? And I worked in a bank. I was a teller in a bank. And every time I'd walk in, I'd be like, it was
Wow.
awful. It was awful. Well, now I know why. It's the energy that all that stuff is created in. You know, it's not to help us, it is to fleece us.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, there's just so many ways that that we are siphoned off of.
Yeah.
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 So if you think the government cares about you, well, you know, and I'm not saying that every single person in the government
No,
is bad.
no, no, not at all. Because there are a
Not at
lot of
all.
people that get into government to
To
really
help.
help people.
To help. And
Yeah, absolutely.
but and we're seeing it more and more now. The institutions that have been infiltrated,
Yeah.
they don't care about us.
No.
The
They're
institution
not here for
itself.
the people.
Yeah.
They're here for a whole other thing that, frankly, none of us really know. We have ideas, we have intuitions, but we know it's bad. We know it's not for us, it's not helping us, and it's not healthy.
Yeah.
But we really don't know.
They don't really care.
Might be
about
aliens, might be the devil, it might be people. We don't know.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to find out pretty soon.
Yeah, we're finding out already. And again, all that information is within us. We just have to go within and connect to our source.
Yeah.
We can connect to all this information. It's all there for us. It's this huge library of information, and you can use that metaphor or that symbology in your mind to find something if you want to know about something.
Like what
Galactic
happened?
history, anything, you know, the history of anything you want to look at, or the future. Go, you know, not future isn't always shown to us, but sometimes we get possible futures. And go,
Absolutely.
we should do a show on it, Akashic Records. And
yes.
and go there and pull out the books, bring up the computer, bring up the story on your, you know, your computer at the Akashic Records. There's someone there that will help and guide you to whatever you want to find and see. Yeah.
Because we tap into the infinite now. It's all there.
It is.
It's not even past, present, and future. It's all now.
Yes, it's all there. Right? I know, right?
Totally not the way we've been told either. There's top number 20 of things that we've been told that just aren't panning out, man. It doesn't make sense.
Right. All right, sister, what do you got next?
What do we got? Education system. All I want to say is they don't
They don't
really
really
care
care
about
about
us
us.
and about those children.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many weird things going on right now. Oh my God. I had a post come across my Facebook thing, and it says, there's so many weird things going on in America now. It's almost like America's built on Native American burial grounds.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of like, ooh, I got to
Yeah,
share that one. But I
yeah,
kind of went like this when I did it. I'm
that's
like,
I
oh, I'm
know,
waiting
kind
for
of,
the backlash. Waiting
oh
for my
yeah.
Native American friends to come back. I can do it. I got enough Native American in me. I could stand strong on that, but they might be
Yeah.
pissed.
Well, and I think it's around the world. This
Yeah,
kind of stuff is happening around the
yeah,
world.
everywhere.
So, yeah. Um, where were we? Oh, educate. And there's lots and lots of wonderful teachers, of course,
Oh
lots of wonderful
yeah.
teachers, but the curriculum obviously has changed and things have changed.
Well, and that's the
It's,
problem,
yeah.
is it isn't about teaching children. I mean, the younger grades it is, get them reading, writing, arithmetic, but
If they are
there's,
taught that.
yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
But I know my granddaughter's going into third grade, and they're starting to get into some weird stuff and this weird math that they do, and just all kinds of strange stuff. It's like, what are you doing? It's doing something with the brain, or they wouldn't be teaching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's remapping, or it's getting kids to look at things in a particular way.
Is it a good way or not a good way?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
It's a programming of some sort, but it's like, 12 plus, I can't even explain it because I don't get it.
Okay.
I tried to help my granddaughter, and I'm like, what is happening here? And she's like, zippity zip zip zip. And I went, I will never again know what 13 plus 12 equals. I don't know how to add anymore, apparently.
Wow.
But there's something about that's in there too. But they don't learn life skills. And this is where we lost so much. 100 years ago, kids learned how to, I remember learning how to balance a checkbook, learning how to, put eggs and flour together and make a
cake.
biscuit.
Yeah.
How to sew your pants up if you get a rip in it.
It was called home economics.
It was called home economics, and the boys got to go work on the cars. Some of the boys were in home economics. I tried to get into the cars, and the boys were like, mm-mm.
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah,
wanted to
there
go
was
learn how to do
shop.
the car.
Remember shop? My
Yeah.
dad actually taught shop. Yeah, he
Oh, that's so
taught
cool.
leather work and woodworking and stuff.
It's awesome. Those basic things, And also there's another thing that I heard in school, and now I don't know this firsthand, but I had heard that they don't teach, I think it used to be called civics,
Yes,
where they
civics.
taught
Yeah.
the Constitution and they
Government.
taught the different things of the government and all that stuff.
Right.
I was like, they don't teach that anymore?
Yeah,
That's so
apparently
good.
not. I didn't raise kids, so but I do see that there's a lot
Yeah.
that needs to be changed.
And I don't know that much because I didn't pay attention in civics, because I'm like, I will never use this, so I don't care. I wish I'd have paid attention.
Yeah. I know, studying the Constitution. Well, that was the whole idea, I guess, for us to not pay attention, keep us distracted. Yeah. So Constitution is something that we need to know. It's what our country is founded on.
Yeah. And I find it very interesting that there's so many people running around saying this country was founded for Christianity. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was founded on religious freedom.
Yeah.
Worship the God you love. But that's just my opinion. Tell us what you think. Right?
Right. All right. So yeah, that's definitely a good one. Okay. Lots of lies going on in the education system.
Yes.
Okay, another lie we've been told, and this has changed over the years. And again, our peeps are pretty smart here. That the news tells us the truth. The media
doesn't it?
tells us
But
the
I heard
truth.
it on the news.
I know, I've heard that so many times, but it must be true. I heard it on the news. If it was on the news, so I heard it. So it's true.
Where's Walter Cronkite?
When you need him. Yeah.
I want him back. Somebody has his DNA. We need to get a clone going. We got enough clones running other stuff. We need
That's
some
true.
Walter Cronkite clone.
Right. So yeah, that's one thing that enough said about that, right? I mean, we know what that's all about. I mean, on both, on every angle, it's all propaganda on in every angle.
Yeah. And it's amazing. With all the stuff that we're talking about, Sharon,
Yes.
it is absolutely amazing that we as humans are still here. We're still thriving. We
Yeah.
still have smiles on our faces. We're still getting up. We're still going to work. We're still loving our families. We're
Mhm.
still making babies. We're still getting married. We're still chugging along. We're still going under all this stuff that's been going on, especially the last 100 years. But,
Well,
a lot of this
also,
is,
yes, that's so true. In spite of what the news tells us, that that our world is going to hell in a handbasket kind of thing. They keep telling us. I mean, it's just fear mongering, fear porn, daily, daily, daily,
and we're still going.
and we're
The
still going.
humans are amazing. And I think it's so important that we talked about all this stuff
Yeah.
so that we could come back around to that,
Yes.
so that people can realize what the onslaught, if you will. I love that word, onslaught. Of just bullshit,
Shittery.
mind fuckery that's been going on. And we're still going, guys.
Mhm.
We're still loving each other. We're still learning. We're still growing. We're still praying at night before we go to bed, right?
Right.
Make sure. And meditating too, right? Okay. But truly, I mean, humans are amazing. We're adaptable. We're such powerful. Oh, I don't even have words. I'm feeling it in my body right now. I'm feeling like this power and this strength and this like supernatural. We are superheroes.
We are supernatural.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're supernatural. We're superheroes. All those superhero movies, there's not a one of you that's any less than those guys.
That's right. Yeah.
And
Joe
when we
Dispenza
remember
writes a
that,
book. Yeah, Joe Dispenza writes a book called Supernatural, I think it is.
oh,
And
does he?
it's
Oh,
really good. Really,
check
really
it out.
good. Highly recommend it.
He's
And
so good.
yeah,
It's
he's
so good.
amazing.
It's so important.
Yeah, totally. But yes, and that's one of the that's on the list is that's my next one on the list. We are told that we're not good enough.
Yeah.
We're constantly told we're not good enough, constantly in media, all over the place. We're being bombarded with what we're supposed to be like, look like, think like, feel like, all of it. But we're not talking about us here though. But
No, we're
suggesting. No,
it's just our opinion. What do you
just
think?
our opinion. What do you think? Yeah. No, but seriously, it's there's so much bombarded on, and especially the young people. It's disgusting of how they're supposed to look. And I remember when I was young, and when you're a teenager and a young, when you're a young adult or moving into that space, how we were always, and we still do it as the old adult, comparing ourselves to
old
others. Old young people comparing ourselves to others, right? But it's where we are programmed to think that someone is always better than us.
And to strive to
Mhm.
work and hard work, and only way to get there is hard work. But what is kind of scary is you and I are of the age
Mhm.
where our young programming, we didn't have all this television and computer and all this stuff influence. The kids nowadays, any kid that's under about the age of 15 has had just this constant stuff all the time.
Yeah. And it starts with a a moral compass, a foundation about
Yeah.
who, and centered about who we are and who these people are, who the young people are within themselves, and not striving to be like Cardi B or Beyonce or whoever, or putting these people up as role models and sports figures. And I mean, I love it when Charles Barkley said, I'm not a role model,
Yeah.
He says, I'm not your role model.
Don't look up to me.
Don't look up to me. Yeah. And, things like that. And thinking that that people have to live up to be like them. And these people these influencers put themselves out there.
Interesting terminology on that,
Isn't
too.
It? Influencer.
And if a guy had someone contact me and they said, you don't have a lot of followers for an influencer. And I said, an influencer of what? Of culture. I don't want to influence the culture. I want the people that need me that I can help to come on over and let's figure out what needs to be done. But I don't want to be influencing massive
yeah. I mean, we're doing this the organic way.
Yeah.
I saw some story about you can buy audiences. You can spend money and buy, 5,000 followers and stuff like that.
That's what this guy was selling.
Exactly. And
he was trying to make me feel like I was less than. And he wanted to sell me, and it's freaking expensive. It's thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yes. And so, and these people that are pushed on the young kids because they're, they're going after the kids, on young kids they've got backing for it. They've got the industry behind it. And that, Michelle. So, we just got to quit thinking that we're not good enough. And keep
reminding each other that we are good enough.
Yes, thank you. The opposite. Yes.
And our children, we have to keep telling them that they're beautiful and wonderful and strong and smart, no matter what it looks like outside of them, because nothing outside is going to tell them that.
No, nothing is.
I remember I walked by a little girl in the store not too long ago. Well, rolled by, and I looked at her and I went, "You are so smart." And she looked at me and I went, "You really are, aren't you?" And she kind of was like, and she goes, "Yeah." I would, you stand up tall. You be proud of yourself. You're not only smart, you are beautiful.
Nice.
You are powerful. You stand up straight. You let people see that. And she and then Mom came around the corner. I was like, "Oh, there's the problem."
Right? Oh, no.
The kid just
Oh,
but you can change a life by that.
Yeah.
By telling a kid they're gorgeous, they're smart, that they're wonderful, they're important.
Right. Kids are so influential. Influenced.
Easily
influenced. Yeah. And they are influential. They're our teachers. I feel children are our teachers. They totally are. Yeah. All righty. What do you got next?
Cool. Okay. What else do we got here? Now, this goes back to the food thing, and I don't remember. We might have talked about this, that fat makes you fat. Did we talk about that?
We did. We talked about fat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eat fat. It's not going to make you fat.
Yeah.
That high fructose corn syrup that's going to kill you.
That's what's going to kill you. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And let's see. I think we got everything. I think we hit them all. And I'll tell you what, we had a lot more than 10. Yay, us.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, there was another one which we already know that I just wrote down was that aliens don't exist, UFOs, that we are the only intelligence in the universe, right?
I do too exist.
Same here. Yeah, totally. So yeah. That is a no-brainer if you ask me. Hello, especially in our world, right?
And there are good and bad aliens. That's why with some of these shenanigans that are going on, it's like, do we got some bad aliens around here doing some shenanigans?
Mm-hmm.
Makes you kind of wonder. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, and they can't influence us forever. And as we ascend, they're not around. They won't be around as we move into the higher frequencies and heal. Yeah. I just have one last one, that money will solve all problems is a lie.
What? You mean I've been working my butt off for 60 years and that's a lie? Oh, crap.
Yep, it's a lie.
Keep
It's a
trying to
lie.
get that almighty dollar so I'll finally be happy. Oh, it's so true.
Mhm.
And we get stuck in it. And it's, again, it's part of that programming. You got to get the house. You got to have the right car. You got to have the right shoes. You got to have the right label on your butt. You got to have, you have to go to the right schools. You have to live in the right neighborhoods. And it's just like, it's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
It's
Yeah.
exhausting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that money isn't a good tool. It's a tool. Money is a tool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It has energy. Money is a tool. And so, and, if we're not balanced inside, and we're not centered inside, and we don't have a foundation, we're not grounded, and we aren't healed of
Yeah.
that mindset of lack, that lack mindset,
Yeah.
it doesn't do any good. Money, you could, we could win the lottery and win millions and millions of dollars. It is not going to make us happy.
No. And a lot of people that win that money lose it somehow.
Yeah.
Anyways, I mean, there are people I've heard, it's just my opinion. What do you think? But that there have been people that have won millions in lotteries, maybe even inherited millions, and have just people have stolen it, taken advantage of them, bad investments, whatever you call it. But
Right. Yeah. So yeah, so it's and it's a it has to do with how we feel about ourselves. It goes back to how we feel about ourselves, and we're not good enough, and that we are, and that we are good enough, and that we are worthy of God's love. And it goes down to that we are worthy of God's love.
Absolutely. And when we get there, everything that we need comes to us, and we can get everything we need without money. I mean, you can literally get a brand new home if you're in the right mindset and lined up with that. I mean, you can get the things that you need. They're given to you. That's where miracles happen, right? Miraculous healing, all the kind of miracles. Even winning the lottery is kind of a miracle if you think about it.
Totally.
It's like, how do you do that? Do you have to line up with the frequency of that? Or I'm still trying to figure it out. I can't tell you how many people have called me for readings and want the lottery numbers. Do you think if I knew how to do it, I'd be sitting there giving you readings for $200 an hour?
Right.
Be on my yacht with Sven.
Sven. Yeah, and we have been taught to put the cart before the horse.
Yes.
That once we have money, we'll be happy. And when I worked in the corporate world, I worked for 2 millionaires, right? 2 millionaires who were very wealthy. One that did not have a spiritual center. His family and he were very unhappy and miserable people. But they had lots of money. They owned lots of land. It was a real estate developer. Very unhappy people. I worked for another family in the oil industry, and he, millionaire, had a spiritual center. They were religious, but they had faith.
Right.
Their faith is what kept them centered, and they were very happy people.
Yeah. And it really is. It's that connection to God, however you get there.
Whatever
whether it's religion, however you get there, whatever it is. And that's why I love, when I do my teachings and when I do my classes and all that kind of stuff, it's like I leave that very broad, because there's so many different ways to experience that. There's not just that, well, there's another lie. You got to be Christian to go to heaven.
Yeah. No. Yeah, and that's a huge Christian lie.
I mean, can you imagine how many billions of souls are in hell?
Trillions.
Because Christianity didn't even start until like the 1300s.
Yeah, trillions, and in their own um, mind created hell.
Yeah, well,
Because
and that too.
there is no hell.
No.
It's all what we
Yeah.
create in our own mind. That's what
But
Spirit
if
Rescue is all about. Yeah.
but if God's plan was only Christians go to heaven, and humanity has been around for how many millions of years? How many souls is that aren't going to make it into heaven because they're not Christian, or they're not
Right.
born again Christian, right?
Right.
Those Neanderthals, they couldn't help it. But they still had souls. Pretty sure they didn't go to hell.
I was on a plane. I may have told this story. I'll make it quick. We're about an hour and 15 minutes into this.
Into
Where
the
my
shindig.
this shindig, where my dad was dying, and this is my biological dad, and I was flying from Texas here to Oregon. He lived here in Oregon at the time, and I was flying, and I was on the plane, and I was reading Joshua Stone's book, The Ascension Manual.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it
Great.
had a lot of masters on the front, and Yeshua was one of them, Jesus one of them. And the older gentleman sitting next to me asked me what the book was about, and I told him. And he said, and I told him I was going to see my dad because he was, and he actually died 2 days later. So I just, I was there with him when he passed. I wanted to be there. And he asked me if my dad had accepted Christ into his heart, or had been saved, kind of thing. My dad was raised by my grandmother, who was very, very strict Catholic, and is of that fundamentalist guilt trip Catholic type of mindset, where God's always watching you, and if you're always sinning, and if you do something wrong, you'll be punished, that kind of thing. So my dad ended up being a atheist or agnostic, probably an atheist. And we used to have conversations about psychics, how you say they're scam artists, you go to scam school,
They're of the
and everything.
devil.
Well, he never said that. He didn't believe in the devil either. He didn't believe in God
that's
or the
good.
devil. No, he didn't believe in anything like that. Anything that had to do with the Catholic religion, he thought was nonsense. His view was, when you die, you're worm food. That's it. So anyway, the gentleman next to me, when I said, well, I said no, that he was a good man, and he would give you the shirt off his back. That's the kind of person he was. He just didn't have, because of his upbringing, he didn't believe in that.
Right.
That type of God.
And was probably told that's all there is.
Yeah. So he said, well, I said he was a good man. He said, well, good don't get it. Good won't get it, is what he said. Good don't get it. And I just said, well, okay. As soon as I turned my head and looked forward, my etheric head turned back to him, and I saw him with my inner eyes, just as clear as day, disintegrate into a skeleton, and then the skeleton disintegrated with him. I saw that happening in my mind's eye. So and Yeshua was telling, that was Yeshua giving me this message, and what he was telling me was, that's the old ways that is dying.
Yes.
That's dying. That is not the truth. And those are some of the first things that he taught me when I started communicating with him, is about, the judgment of the Catholic Church, and sin, and heaven and hell, and all that kind of thing. And that his words were, because he did say, well, Jesus said, my way or the highway. No, my way.
That's exactly what he said. It's in the Bible. It's the new version of the Bible, but it's in there. My way or the highway. Teachings of Jesus. It's a book.
I am the light. I am the way. I guess I am the way.
I'm the truth, the way, and the light.
The light. I'm the truth, the way, and the life. Yeah. And so what he was telling me was, that was totally misunderstood. What he said was, I am.
I am.
Not me. I am the truth, the way, and the life.
The truth. Yeah.
but they don't, but the Catholic Church did not teach us about the I am presence
at all.
at all. Yeah.
And that's the problem. I used to watch a guy on cable TV a long time ago, and he was awesome. This guy was brilliant. And he would take the Aramaic, he translated into Greek, translated into Latin, and translated into English, and show how screwed up it was by the time it got to English.
Wow. Wow.
And the interpretation of words and how they could go either way. And depending on the era, you know, because there were different eras of translations. There was a huge translation that went on, I think, in the 1300s, then the King James version, right, in like the 1600s. And he was like, check
right. Yes. So anyway,
but I still love the Bible. It's got good stories, good teachings.
Yeah, I just read it in parts of it in Bible school. So
yeah,
I should read
it. I've gone through 3 versions of Bible study. You know why? Because I always knew I would be here at the end times. I always knew it since I was a kid. It may have had something to do with I was raised in the Mormon church, which is Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah.
But it's like I knew it when I was a kid, that I'd be here during this time. And or the end times, the beginning times.
Right.
Even the Mormon church doesn't think it's the end of the world. They think it's the
end of the world as we know it.
Revival.
As we knew it.
End of the world as we know it. Yes.
It's exciting.
Well, I think we covered some good stuff, enough to get kicked off of YouTube.
I think, well, yeah. I mean, we could probably do a lot better than that, but
yeah, next show.
Then
if we're still here,
our hundreds of thousands of viewers that we paid lots and lots of money for would miss us. Oops.
And on that note, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please do. Yeah, that's another thing that's interesting, trying to build a YouTube channel. How do these people have bazillions of people? It's like,
I know. How does that happen? Okay, well, I don't know. I guess we have to pool our money. Michelle, what we're going to do is we're going to pool our money. And then next time we do a video, we're going to jump from the subscribers we have now to 10,000.
Okay, cool.
And we're not going to say anything about how it happened.
I got to sell my car, my cat. And what else do I have? That's about all I have. It's of value. We might only get like 5,000 viewers.
Oh, all right. Well, hey, that'll work. Okay. I got to sell my boyfriend. I got to pimp him on the streets. Okay.
We might be able to get some good money for him. He's kind of cute. Clone him. Oh, dude.
Him. Yeah, dude. Totally.
Clone him. We could get you like 15 clones.
Totally. Yeah. Then
sell 15 of them.
I could sit on the couch eating bonbons all day.
Yeah, and keep the regular, keep the original.
Right.
Have you ever seen that movie Duplicity with Michael Keaton?
I think a long time ago.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. I like the third iteration that he's just retarded beyond.
You didn't say that word, did you?
I just did. Because this guy was the one who's like, we're gonna eat dolphin teeth. I get to say retarded.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, because it's
I'm
my
not
opinion.
offended.
What do you think?
And I'm not offended either. Okay. We get offended too easy. All right.
All right. I think we've gone silly now.
I think we have. We're pretty giddy.
We're pretty giddy. So thank you all for being here. This has really been fun because, we want to talk about this stuff. It's coming up. It's coming out. It's everywhere. Let's talk about it. We're not pros. We're putting the disclaimer out there. We don't know what the heck we're talking about, but give us your ideas about what our topics were.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What?
You got me with we aren't pros.
Just
wait, I thought I was a pro at something. Okay,
well,
but
you are, but we're not allowed to talk about that on YouTube either.
No, we are that's why they call it a practice. We're here practicing. We're practicing. Yeah.
We're practicing to be YouTube influencers. We're not doing very good. But we love what we're doing, and we
Yes.
love every one of you that
We
stops
do.
by and watches,
We
because
do.
this is what it's about. It's about the fun of it all.
Right? Love you all. Mwah. We'll see you
Mwah.
next time. Okay. Peace.
Stay sparkly.